Lego skeletons are everywhere. Chances are you've got one, whether it's peeking out from a cave to say hello, a fantasy warrior causing chaos in the Lego world, or just a skull sitting proud in an abandoned castle. Skeletons have had a long history in the Lego world. They first arrived on the scene in 1995, adding a spooky atmosphere to castle and pirate sets, with Rocky Reef and Skeleton Surprise being some of the first to feature the bony icon. This classic skeleton introduced new elements for its legs, body and floppy arms, which, when paired up with its instantly recognisable skull faceprint, make for a frankly perfect Lego minifigure. And it wasn't long before they were showing up in other themes as well, sometimes with pharaoh headdresses, sometimes with armour, and sometimes as just a head, but always with the same face. That changed in 2002, when a new skull print debuted with Alpha Team. This evil skull was a darker take on the skeleton, with a thinner mouth, two nose holes and pointier eyes, and it would go on to feature in a range of licensed and non-licensed sets for the early 2000s, with Harry Potter's Graveyard Duel including an exclusive all-black version, while its Dementors introduced the body and arms in sand green. The original skeleton still made appearances during this time, sometimes even in the same sets as its evil counterpart. This creepier faceprint didn't last long though, sadly, making a final appearance in 2009's Pirates Advent Calendar, although it was resurrected 9 years later with Dr. Phosphorus. Beyond the evil skull, the early 2000s also saw the only Duplo skeleton in 2006's Treasure Hunt, complete with a spooky, glow-in-the-dark printing. It was 2007's Castle sets that introduced the most important change, however. As it entered its fantasy era, evil skeleton villains went into battle against the King's army, and they introduced a new torso piece. While the body is identical, the shoulder pins were made much thicker, allowing battle droid arms to be attached instead of the floppy arms we'd be used to at this point. This meant that skeletons could now grab weapons and hold their position without the risk of flopping back down if the angle isn't quite perfect. They also had red eyes, bringing these undead warriors to life, a big difference to the empty black eye prints of the previous skeletons. Accompanying them into battle were skeleton horses, who were fixed in a single pose but absolutely looked the part, whether ridden by skeletons or pulling along chariots. These horses were available in black and white, just like the skeletons, and later glow in the dark for monster fighters, the last time we ever saw this piece. With a new torso piece now out, both the regular and evil skull soon showed up with it, as did Indiana Jones's Akator skeletons. The robotic arms did feel a bit out of place though. Enter Ninjago, which also brought about important changes to the skeleton world. The skulking villains certainly struck terror into the hearts of the freshly trained ninja, with their giant skeleton vehicles and underground fortress. They got new legs, with boots allowing them to better fit into their classic spinners. The new bodies were significantly different to the skeleton bodies we had before, with angular rib cages and printed belts, and their face prints, while similar to the fantasy castle skeletons, had much more personality between them, with the four generals even getting unique moulded heads, including Samukai's opening mouth. Most importantly though, were the new arms. Instead of using the battle droid arms, these are much smoother and work much better for regular skeletons, though the droid arms were of course perfect for the Lego Movie's robo-skeletons. And unlike the droid arms, both variations have the same bend angle, meaning you aren't left with one straight arm and one bent arm if you want your figure to have two different grips. Outside of Ninjago, these arms first helped bring Skeleton Barbossa to life, before updating the classic skeleton once more in 2013's Rancor Pit. 1 year later, Lego Minecraft released its first wave of minifig scale sets, and bringing to life its annoying yet iconic skeletons was a no-brainer. Everything about them is identical to regular Lego skeletons, except the heads, with that blocky skeleton faceprint staring deep into your soul. They've remained unchanged ever since, often showing up with different armour, and later being joined by brick-built skeleton horses, strays, Dungeons and Legends variants, and wither skeletons. Tall, black skeletons from the Nether who come with unique, long skeleton leg pieces. In 2015, skeletons joined the world of CCBS thanks to Bionicle. As the Toa made a triumphant return, they found themselves battling creepy skull spiders and bony foes. These skeletons all have unique abilities and skull masks, but they also introduced this new limb piece. Designed like an actual bone and unable to have armour attached, it helped bring these spooky skeletons to life. Bionicle Generation 2 didn't last long though, and as a result, these were the only construction skeletons ever made. Also in 2015 was this fantastic figure, a genius design with the skeleton printed on all black, plus little minifigure eyes peeking out from behind the skeleton mask, a perfect trick-or-treater costume. Although new torsos and arms were now in use, the original floppy arms still showed up from time to time, until 2017 when they sadly made their final appearance in the Heart Lake Hospital, and are now retired. They'd lasted for 22 years and featured in 80 sets, but from this point onwards, all skeletons, whether it's El Fuego from Hidden Side, the Fire Demons of Sirta, or the Wither Skeletons of Minecraft, now use the Skulking arm design. Speaking of the Skulking, they enjoyed another update in 2019, shrinking their heads significantly, allowing them to wear some minifigure accessories. They also showed up as generic skulls in 2020 as well, which gives you another great option for skeleton creation. As we come to 2024, skeletons continue creeping their way into sets, and the 29-year-old face print is still as iconic as ever. Whether part of the 180 sets it's appeared in so far, or even as LEGO storage tubs. And beyond these iconic minifigures, we've had brick-built skeletons, microfigure skeletons, dinosaur skeletons, bone demons from Monkey Kid, skeletons from Disney, skeleton mugs, bony beetles, a skeleton dragon, and even a skeleton banana. They've been around for 29 years and I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon, but there is one important question to ask. Floppy arms or posable arms? Please feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.